What's up, peeps? Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most popular YouTubers in Warzone, being JGODS, and why you shouldn't always listen to what he says is going to be the meta loadout. And oh my god, use this. And I'm going to be giving you guys my opinions and my reasons on why you shouldn't always listen to him. Let's jump right into this video. Before I go off, this video isn't really a rant of, oh my god, you know, he's like the worst YouTuber ever. I do watch a lot of his videos, and I think he's great at providing information, and the amount of time that he puts in his Warzone videos and having all the damage values, the range values, everything that he puts in, the amount of time that he puts in the game is crazy, all right? But again, this video shows for some of the meta loadouts, which he calls, you know, quote unquote meta loadouts, that really shouldn't be called meta loadouts. Now, my first reason is, what does JGOD always do when he's about to show you a loadout, right? The second that he says this gun is going to be meta, what does he do? The first thing that he does is he brings up his spreadsheet and he shows you the TTK values, right? That is his holy grail for him to show you the TTK values. It is the most important thing. The TTK values is always super important for him, but in reality, when it comes to a game like Warzone, there are a lot more important things than just the TTK values of a gun. For example, what I believe to be one of the most important ones is if the TTK is okay, right? If it's not horrible, if it's in the middle of the pack, but you've got amazing recoil control with this gun, I believe this gun will be significantly better than a gun with higher TTK. Let's go back in time and remember when the Krig was meta. At that time, you still had other weapons like the C58 and the EM2 that were extremely powerful. But why back in that time, the Krig has been one of the most used weapons in Warzones? I believe it even increased if you went to Warzone rank where they show you the amount of percentage that people use the weapon. I think the Krig, I think it was over 20%. And the reason that was so hugely popular, it wasn't because it had the best TTK. It was because that gun just did not move a single bit. And again, that is where I say that the TTK really doesn't always come into play, especially when I think most of the Warzone community really either can't control the recoil really good because they're either playing on console, or they're just really not that sweaty and they can't control the recoil of weapons like the EM2 and like the C58. So if you're just the overall, you know, kind of like an average Warzone player, I would suggest you not listen to the TTK, but grab a gun that is peak performance when it comes to recoil control and that has a pretty good, decent TTK. This is a video that I remember specifically that I want to talk to you guys about when he said, when I just really completely disagreed, and I really would think that somebody would come up with a better meta than this. So when they did a huge bunch of nerfs and buffs and fixed a bunch of weapons, he came up saying that the DMR was the new close range meta after the OTS nerf, right? He was like, oh my god, you know, you gotta use the DMR, right? It's the greatest gun close range that you'll ever see. Oh, okay, look at this. You know, I just clicked on this video, obviously showing the TTK charts. You know, he's saying, oh, you know, because the TTK is super high, that's why the gun is gonna be amazing. But again, one of the biggest problems was why I completely disagree with when he said this is the new close range meta. And again, one of the biggest reasons why I don't think TTK says it all, you know, like recoil, we got another thing that's called rate of fire, right? Or how many times per second can a gun shoot? And this is a big issue with the DMR, especially when you're coming up with a close range gun, right? With the DMR, yes, the TTK can be significantly high, but because each of those bullets deals a huge amount of damage, the second that you miss one of those shots with the DMR, close range, your TTK is just gonna go down significantly. That's why guns like the MAC-10 were really popular, because the rate of fire of the gun was just super fast, that even if you missed a couple shots, it could compensate that because of that range of fire. Now, another thing on why this gun just completely doesn't make sense is because if you want a close range, well, you gotta make it fast, right? You gotta make it agile. What happens when you make your gun fast and agile? Well, you lose a little bit of the recoil control. And when it comes to a gun like the DMR, and let's say for example there's a dude head glitching, which happens a lot of the cases when you're trying to engage in those close range fights, I assure you it's not going to be easy, again, especially for somebody that can't control the recoil that well, to hit a guy off a head glitch with a DMR that is not meant to control recoil. I'm just going to tell you that is going to be significantly hard. Not other than that, but hip fire is one of the most important things when it comes to close range, and you got a DMR. I mean, a hip fire single shot weapon that just does not, I mean, this right here just should have been scratched and should have never been in here ever. I mean, yes, you can use it, But what he says right here, new close range meta, is just out of his mind. He could have put, you know, this new DMR, new close range meta DMR loadout. That's it. But really calling it a meta, and since he's a really big YouTuber, a lot of people believe this, and oh yeah, it's gonna be meta. But it's not meta. I mean, there's just so many other things that go into a gun than TTK. And again, here I just want to show you guys another one of my points. I mean, the video starts at 32 seconds, right? And it is about a spreadsheet, and at the video is 9 minutes long. If we go throughout the whole video, not even until the end, doesn't even give us gameplay on how this gun performs. How can you control the recoil on this gun? I mean, that is one of the things that I really don't like about JGODS when he posts his loadouts. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but he has never, in his main channel, he's posted some gameplays in the more JGODS, but in his main channel, he has never posted gameplay with the loadouts that he puts. And part of the reason why I think he does it, I don't know if it's just because he's so focused on the numbers, but I think it's because he's not like a quote-unquote sweaty player. And I mean, I've seen him a couple times when he plays in his loadout videos and his streams, and he's not the most talented player per se, right? So that's why also I don't understand really when, I mean, I get when you get classes from people like Joe, you know, he's got amazing movement, he's got really high KD. You get other classes from guys that got really high KD, because you're like, well, I mean, if they got high KD and they're competing in these games and they're getting 30, 40 bombs, well, I mean, their classes must be good, right? So it's just like a lot of the people take opinion of a guy that, to be honest, I don't want to be mean, but kind of plays like a bot in terms of, you know, the size, the channel size that he has for Warzone. He doesn't really play like the other guys. So that's just one of the things. And again, I don't say, again, like I said at the beginning, I don't say that all the numbers that he puts is just complete bullshit. Like, the numbers that he puts are amazing. But again, remember, there is much more than the TTK. Another one of the things that I wanted to show, this was his most recent top 10 loadouts in Warzone Pacific after the Vanguard update, right? This video was released 2 days ago. And he was talking about what are the best perks, and obviously the first one he talked about the best perks and lethals and stuff like that. And it just amazed me to see that not once he mentioned overkill and he mentioned ghost, right, for people to use ghosts and stuff like that. But I just, it really amazes me on how he can't choose. He didn't even mention restock being one of the most important perks for people that are aggressive. And not only this was stuns before, but right now we've got one of the best tacticals in the game, and he didn't even talk about it. And he talked about the heartbeat sensor. He talked about a little bit about the stims, but I mean, you just see, he just went over it really quick. Let me show you what he says about the stims.
If you're limited, no heartbeat sensor, a lot of these are good. Stim for the movement. You have,
he just said stim for the movement, right? But mostly he talked about the heartbeat sensor, and that's basically every single one of his class has heartbeat sensor. He just literally skipped over one of the best tacticals, what I believe is the best tactical in the moment right now in the game. If you want to not only be aggressive, but just have better movement, the stim is unbelievably good right now. I mean, the sliding boost that you get with the stim is crazy. And the movement that you can get out of this is amazing. Obviously, if you pair this up with restock, your movement just becomes crazy. I mean, a lot of people have seen me play right now when I'm playing in the streams and stuff like that, and I really could not live out without my stim right now. So again, this just goes back to, I think he gives a lot of the kind of like body loadouts, right? Like, use overkill and use cold-blooded, right? And use your heartbeat sensors. And let's take a look at his classes, right? The first one right here, he's got the Tommy gun and the Grau. I mean, I guess Grau is okay. The Tommy gun, the Thompson, is a pretty good gun, but I wouldn't really put it in the top 10. So right here, we scratch it off, right? And again, heartbeat sensor, obviously. Let's go to his next one. Next one is pretty good. I believe he's got the SCG and the AMP. I definitely agree with this one. And again, look, he's running Ghost on this one. I don't even think he's got a restock class, but yeah, SCG pretty good. AMP, I agree with him on this one. The AMP is still the best secondary in the game, hands down. Next up, he's got the Vulcan. The Swiss, pretty good combination right here. Swiss is an amazing sniper. I still believe it to be the best sniper in the game. And the Vulcan is a pretty good sniper support gun. Again, pretty good class. Again, you know, I'm not saying that every single class that he posts is complete garbage, but as of right now, it's going pretty good. Next up, I wouldn't really agree with this one. The PPSH has been dethroned after the huge nerfs that it got. And honestly, the PPSH is not even in, I mean, maybe if it's really, really, really close range, but to be honest, honest, right now, the SMGs that are dominating are guns like the MP40 because they're so good up close, and they can also beam people from really, really far away. And then the bar, we've got the bar, which is a pretty good one. Next up at number 5, we got the Type 100. I mean, the gun is okay, but by no means I would put it as its top loadout. Next up, we got the Cold War AK-47. I'm pretty sure this video is 2 weeks ago. I don't think it was definitely wasn't posted in 2019 when Cold War AK-47 was a thing, but I guess it's still right here. Next up, I mean, look at this. You got the Kar 98, you know, good sniper, but then you got the Cold War AK-47. I mean, as a sniper support, there's so many better options at number 4 right now. I mean, I would definitely not agree with him at this one, just at all. Again, this video was posted 2 weeks ago. Next up, he's got the OTS with the C58. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can use the OTS still. I mean, if you're a loser, you still want to use the OTS, you can go ahead and use it, still a good gun. C58, I mean, I guess it's okay, but by no means it would be in the top 3 loadout. Next up, we got the Cooper Carbine, which was pretty decent. I know I got a little bit of a nerf there, so that's why we won't say anything about it. The Cooper Carbine's still pretty good, and he's got the STG there, so again, another pretty good class. And then finally, for his number 1 class, he's got the Brand and the MP40, which I would definitely agree with this one. The only thing I would change from his Brand is he put the slate reflector scope on his Brand. Let me see if I can find it. He put the slate reflector on this one. I would put the sniper scope because even with the slate reflector, you can see the huge mag when you're trying to aim, and it's a huge distraction. So if you put the sniper scope, it'll definitely eliminate that. But here, I could give you so many better classes right now. I mean, first of all, he didn't even acknowledge if he's putting Modern Warfare guns in and Cold War. He's putting everything. First of all, the Modern Warfare MP5 is still top SMG in the game. That MP5, the only gun that I would say beats is the MP40. The Modern Warfare MP5 should be over all these other SMGs or sniper supports that he should put. First of all, number 1. And next up, again, if he's using Modern Warfare guns and he didn't put it in here, the PKM, trust me, it is still the best gun out there. I still even say it's the number 1 gun right now, even better than the Brand because of the 100 mag that it has, and it just kills significantly fast, and believe me, there is no recoil. When I was using it on stream, one of the guys actually thought that I was using Cronus because I was having no recoil. I'm like, no man, like this is just really how the PKM is, and he did not put it at all in here. And the PKM being hands down the best long range weapon right now. And again, it's another one. Shotguns were really popular in the day. Right now, he didn't put the double barrel akimbo, which again, a lot of us know that it's kind of, you know, being a little bitch using that double barrel shotgun, but he should have put it in here. That definitely would have been in the top 10. And if not, the Einhorn revolving shotgun is the best shotgun right now after the nerf, which I'll put a loadout in the screen right now. So ladies and gentlemen, those were the changes that I would have made to his top 10 loadouts. And again, I do want to emphasize that I'm not here trying to hate on the guy and saying that everything he does is trash, but I do feel that a lot of his loadouts are just geared towards, oh, look, the TTK is higher, so I'm going to use this, and really being into the body loadout sort of things, right? If you want to kind of like choose a little bit more aggressive loadouts and go for the higher bomb gameplays and really utilizing the best classes, the best loadouts ever, I suggest you sometimes to look at people that get the 30 bombs. And I mean, I'm not saying to brag a little bit about myself, but wink wink, if you want to check some of my loadouts out, I promise you that every time I post a loadout, I try the gun over and over again to make sure that the class is good for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Peace out, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.